Now, let's get into some hands-on experience with data set right here. So now, still, I'm with data set number 1, for example. Okay? How about, no, bad idea. How about we're going to move on to data set number 2, okay? With data set number 2 here. So I'm going to start looking at data set number 2. And notice, whatever I'm about to do right here, you can do it the same for data set 1. So you have your choice. You can do all these exact work that I'm doing here right now on the board here. You can do that again for your data set number 1, right? But now, because I'm getting tired of data set 1, and it's relatively large, right? It's for us, for our time, you know. So I'm going to focus on data set 2 because it's somehow shorter and smaller. Okay, so the first thing, I mean, some real math with statistics here. The first thing is you have to learn how to find the mean value. Okay, now, what is the mean value? In short, it's just the average. Yes, it's just the average. Now, you have heard of the term the average, right? Trust me, you must have heard that at least once or twice in your life, right? And the average. So what's up with the idea of the average? The average, well, you just add up all the data values, right? And then divide it all by the total number of data values, right? So what I see here is that for data set number 2, now I assume you already wrote it down, right? But then for your own goods, I'm going to switch back. I'm going to swing back to it a little bit in my PC mode. And then you're going to see it. So my data set number 2, after you sorted it out, is going to look like that, okay? So here's the idea. Let's count how many total data points that we all have in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, right? 10, 12, 14, 16, right? 18 and 19, okay? So there are 19 data values, okay? So I am going to switch back to my note page. So now, in statistics, a mean value is to be indicated by an X with a bar on top of that. That stands for statistic. That stands for mean. Okay, so mean is always an X with the bar, an X here with the bar. And so the way to find the mean value, and you have all seen that, right? You technically add all the items together, all the data values together, and then divide by the total. So what I see is I got a 1 here. So I'm going to put the 1 right there, and I do add with 2, okay? Now, of course, you're going to keep adding with 2, right? Until you run out of 2, and then you add all the 3's, right? Until you run out with all the 3's. But then think about this. Be smart here. Are we really all going to sit there and just simply add up as many 2's as there are? No. Of course, we're not just kids anymore, right? We're grown-ups now. We got to learn how to do things efficiently. And besides, you already can see that, statistics, it can get, right? You can encounter with large data sets sometimes. So why don't we just add with 2 here, but then for each, like say in our problem here, there are 3 number 2's, right? So I'm going to multiply the 3 here. I'm going to multiply 3 with 2 because that which indicates that there are 3 2's in my data set. Okay? So, and once again, likewise, adding with all the 3's together. Now, the 3's here are the data values, right? How many 3's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. So, I'm going to do 5 times 3 because there are 5 3's in my data sets, right? And I'm keep adding up. I'm going to keep adding up. And then there's a 5, there's only one 5, and there's a 6, right? Okay, and there are 2 7's. So I'm going to multiply 7 with 2 and add it in. Okay, there's a 10. Okay, there's an 11. There's one 11. There's a 13. See, even though you already shortened some works down, but it's a long and tedious work, right? I agree. So, but it's okay. That's what statisticians do. As long as you're being a statistician, you are not alone by doing all this. Okay? Plus 13 plus 19 plus 24. Okay, and I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to come kind of like down to the bottom line a little bit at plus 36, and then all over 19. So 19 here is the big number. Okay? All over 19. So now, according to my calculations, okay, then we would end up with, let's see, I apologize that I didn't, get a number ahead of time, but it's going to be. Okay. 5 times 3. Plus 5 plus 6 plus 2 times 7 plus 10 plus 11 plus 13 plus 19 plus 24 plus 26. Okay, all of that there, I'm going to divide it by. So that's going to give me a total here is 150. After you're adding all, what's on top right there, on the way from 1 up to like the 26 right here, and you divide it by 19. Okay? And then so what you have here really is okay, so now your answer here is going to be okay, so your x bar value, right? Of course, we can't expect nice looking numbers, right? What I have here is 7.89. Now, my personal preference, you can, once again, I show you how to do rounding up, right? But that's just like techniques. You decide for yourself how many decimal points you want, okay? So I normally keep that around 2 decimal points, like that. So that is my mean value, okay? That's my mean value. That's my average value, okay? So now, and that's how we do average, right? That's always the way how we do it. So if you want to work on, if you want to apply the same technique here into your data set number 1 that we have looked earlier, yes, your work is going to be longer, I agree, but the exact same work here is going to get carried out, okay? So now,